Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. This is Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest over here on Nirvana World TV. Metaphysically speaking, welcome Twitter, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Now, yesterday concluded my streaming live to my advocacy spaces. So, with that being said, if you're streaming in from Twitter or Facebook or even YouTube advocacy spaces, I want to give you an opportunity and a friendly reminder to join us over at Nirvana World TV, metaphysically speaking. With that being said, I'm going to end streaming to those locations and I'll just be over here with whomever shows up at Nirvana World TV. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Thank you, family. Stand by. There. Okay. Well, it looks like the other persons that were streaming from one of those other locations. But I've given clear instruction if they choose to join, metaphysically speaking, this is the place where we do that. So prayerfully, they'll find their way over. I'm not going to be here long, family. I just really, I've got so much to do. I am back in school, of all places, getting certifications and things of this nature to actually uh, increase my pay grade. Sometimes that requires us to go back to school, family, and it takes what it takes, especially if you're working on security in retirement, especially if you've got young adult children, which I do. I have a child who's in college who's going to need me to make as much money as I can because it's not enough to simply help her get through college. I want to be one of those type of parents that sadly my late mom could not afford to be to me. If my daughter gets into a financial bind, I want to be able to assist. And I'm grateful to what my mother could do, but sadly, all she could do was lend me money to get me over from one, setback to another. Grateful for it. There's lots of people out here that don't even have that much. And so thankful, but I definitely am striving to be able to help my daughter in the event she needs assistance from me. I want to be able to be that to her and for her. So, yes, that requires going back to school, getting more education, getting more certifications, things of this nature. So, it's about to get very, very intense for me, especially given that I am about a week and a half behind because of technical difficulty, no fault of my own. Usually I'm the technical difficulty, but it wasn't me this time. It was IT. They couldn't get their act together. So now that they've got it together, I am a week and a half behind in my homework assignments. And I've got 3 courses I'm taking to get specific certifications to demand more money in the workplace. So we do what we must, family, but it is intense. So I'm going to do my best to stay consistent with metaphysically speaking because it is doing so much for me. And it's my contribution to you guys, my contribution to myself. Me saying yes to the inner Christ, insisting that I go forward with this broadcast, you know, unafraid, unapologetic, without fear, knowing that once I leap, the net will appear. And the same is true for you. When you leap, the net will surely appear, family. You can't operate in fear, which is false evidence appearing real. You have to just decide this is a good idea, which is a God idea, and I'm going to be about manifesting it. I'm going to be about having it manifest through me. And that's just has to be your resolve. That has to be your square. Even as I look at these courses I have to take, only one, well, all of them I could do, but statistics, really? Like, that's feeling like it's out of my wheelhouse. But what we need to do is understand that we are spirit having a human experience. And as so, we can appeal to spirit to help us when things appear falsely as something that we can't be accomplished in. We've got to push through it and, do it afraid. We can't allow the fear to cripple us because that's not how we're wired. If you're made in the image likeness of God with mastery, power, dominion, and authority over everything, then fear can't coexist where love is. We've been studying that these past few days together. The two can't coexist. So you have to choose what you're going to serve. Because if you choose love, that's true for you. If you choose fear, that's also true for you. You've got power either direction you go. No exceptions. But that's the creative power you've got. That's your manifesting power. So if there are things that are showing up in your experience that you don't want, it's because you believe more in fear than you do faith, than you do love. And so prayerfully, this course is enabling you to get back to love, self-love, and love of your inner Christ, inner Buddha, inner Allah, whatever you refer to, that spirit that is who you are before your flesh. When you believe more in it than you do the appearances will fall away. And then you'll be a manifesting machine, manifesting the desires of your heart, which are good, which are from God. If it's not a good desire, it's not from God. It's from ego, which is edging God out. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and proceed with lesson 6 because I have a ton of homework to catch up in these 3 courses. And I need to get back to it. But I want to stay committed to this 21-day process. Since we started, I saw 5 pounds leave the scale. It's just incredible and amazing that when you are intentionally partnering with your inner Christ to achieve all of your goals, all you do is win, 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 no matter what. So lesson 6 is build a relationship with good food. Now, Marianne Williamson, she starts off by sharing about her daughter, whom she would take to different events, and she would cleave to her leg until she felt comfortable. She would just, observe. She didn't jump right in, right? She had a process. She needed to see what was going on and sort of feel her way into a situation. Then, when she was ready, she would go. She would let go of Marianne's pant leg and engage with the children that she felt was on her square. Well, in this lesson, we are honoring your need to both develop better eating habits and move toward them naturally, gradually, and on your own terms. There's no need to wait until you're doing well on a diet, losing weight, or even enthusiastic about any of the lessons in this course before doing them. They are meant to be your companion when you're eating well and your companion If and when you're slipping, whether you're feeling good or feeling despair, just keep on going. And I share with you about how, I would eat mints and pray for God to take the hard candy peppermint addiction from me. And on not one but two occasions it took, because I went from the Walmart brand to the Walgreens brand, and then all of a sudden my taste change or the recipe change. God just interceded, because as I was working through that addiction, um, God gave me the solution, and I stopped seeking a peppermint candy that I enjoyed. I was eating those candies out of fear. I was going through a lot of changes with my daughter's dad, through a child support and custody battle, that I actually represented myself with the help of my inner Christ and prevailed. But it was a very anxious, stressful time for me. The idea of losing my daughter over money was just way too much to bear. And so I turned to the peppermint candy as a vice. And so I shared with you guys yesterday as well that I had actually embarked on these 21 lessons and surrendering my weight forever, when the book was published around 2010. And although I went through the course, I'm now starting to see, as I go through the course with you, how I'm actually applying everything I read and learned back in 2010. That was what, 13 years ago. So I don't want you to beat up on yourself. I don't want you to hold any setbacks against yourself. You will get your stride. Find your way. Baby steps. Don't try and chew this elephant all at once. Chew it a bite at a time. And just declare and decree that being in your perfect body is available to you. And continue to reach toward the mark. But love yourself through it. Because the minute you operate in fear, you start to do things in secret as if you need to, and then what you focus on expands. When you're focusing on gaining weight, then that's actually what expands in your experience. Because it's not the food, it's your thought about that food. But there are healthier foods for your body, for you to have life in that more abundantly. I remember getting into an exchange with my late mom, who told me, well, people that work out excessively fall dead as well. Like, what difference does working out make? Because she knew I believed in working out and eating properly. And I was doing all I could to inspire her to do the same. And I told her, well, my inner God told her, it's not how you die, it's how you live. So you can choose how you want to live. Do you want to be in a healthy body like the 70-year-old Babette, who has a vegan restaurant in Inglewood here in LA, who has a body of a 30-year-old? She's in impeccable shape and health because she treats her body temple like royalty. So I didn't want my late mom's maladies. She was challenged with heart disease and high blood pressure and sugar, diabetes. And I didn't want that in my experience. And so I opted to do things about it so that I wouldn't have to be living in a body that ached all the time. I would not have to take 30 big pharma drugs to keep me functioning and going. Yes, I told her to stay away from the venom because it was experimental. And I didn't believe that someone with underlying comorbidities should be experimented on with the venom. and she succumbed to 3 heart attacks after taking the booster. But I'm here to tell you that it's not about how you die, it's truly about how you live. So, although it's not the food necessarily, it's more of your mind playing tricks on you. It is the food in that it can tear down your natural regenerative defenses in the body. Too much sugar, too much salt, too much of the wrong thing is still harmful to you. But the weight is in your mind. But please feel free to find your way to this particular way of being. You don't have to beat yourself up. This is a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So the daily, I'm just jumping around so we can get to a closing place. Not going to read the entire chapter, just my highlights. The daily drama of an obsessive relationship with food is not the high drama of nourishment and enjoyment, but a low, cheap, pain-filled drama. The ecstatic high of excessive and unhealthy eating is not a real high at all, but a chemically triggered, addictive act of self-destruction. Your pain is assuaged by overeating for only a very short period of time, after which it comes back exponentially. This course does not ask you to be free of compulsion, but it does ask that you try to be more honest with yourself. Be honest enough to know that while good food might seem boring right now, unhealthy or excessive food is not your friend. Once again, that does not mean to force yourself. If you're making yourself stop, you're only going to start again anyway. Just open your eyes to what's actually happening, and the day will come when you will simply no longer wish to hurt yourself. You will no longer want to overeat. You will be done with that, and something new will begin. So she goes on to talk about how she discovered green grapes were helpful to her in cutting down her sugar consumption. Her friends told her that while grapes are a natural substance, they still contain sugar. But there's no comparison between the poison that is refined sugar and the natural sugar in ripe green grapes. So eat the ripe green grapes. Don't let people, this is me speaking, don't let people convince you that God's natural sugars are comparable to man's processed refined sugars. Find your substitutes, and then ultimately the cakes and the cookies and the pies won't have the same appeal because you will love the way you feel getting a sugar fix from the grapes or the mango or the apple, things of that nature. So back to the text, a doctor once said to me, your body doesn't want to be sick and your body doesn't want to be fat. Just as your heart knows how to beat and your lungs know how to breathe, your body knows how to calibrate its weight to that which serves the maximal functioning of your body as a whole. But artificial substances have created within you artificial appetites. When natural substances are reintroduced to your body, then your natural appetites will come again to the fore. And as with anything, you must give them a chance. So it is that this lesson entails a trip to the store to buy one thing and one thing only. Your task is to buy a piece of fruit. You can buy any piece of fruit you choose, but there is a ritual to be honored here, which is why it would be best if you do not have to pick up other things on this shopping trip. That all you purchase is this one item. And it's important, if possible, that you procure the fruit yourself rather than having someone else pick it up for you. Your being involved in the entirety of the process will make the ritual more impactful. So you've got to understand that. Oh, let me finish the homework. The first thing to do when you arrive home is to wash your fruit. The second thing to do is to look at it. Simply sit down in a chair and look at it. Have you ever really looked at a pear before, or a pomegranate, or an apple? Have you ever noted its specific coloring, or its shape, or its size? Is there anything that man has created that can begin to compare with the majesty of a mountain, the beauty of a flower, the power of a river, or the force of a rainstorm? Then why is it that when it comes to food, people have developed this ridiculous notion that we've somehow improved on God? That chemically processed food is somehow preferable to what nature has to offer. There is perfection in nature, perfection in you, and perfection in food as nature created it. Your own perfection is invoked by nature's perfection. A walk through nature calms and restores you emotionally, and natural food calms and restores you physically. Once again, if you're still compelled to eat chemically processed foods, then eat them. The enemy is not the food, and the enemy is not you. The enemy is your obsession to eat unhealthy food and to eat it excessively. And that's okay for now. The obsessive enemy will begin to dissolve as you learn to become more of a friend to yourself. Refined, chemically processed foods can give you a temporary high, that is understood. But then, if eaten excessively, they give you discomfort, sickness, despair, embarrassment, and self hatred. You know that, but take a moment, just a moment, to truly think about what it means. Remember that speed is your enemy, whether speed eating or speed thinking. Allow yourself to digest what it means that unhealthy eating is destroying your life. Natural foods, seasonal, plant based foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and whole grains, restore your body, revitalize your mind, give you energy, make you more beautiful, slow the aging process, make you happier with yourself, taste even better than the other stuff once your taste buds have been restored, and improve your relationship with others because of all of the above. Don't even worry now about saying no to what you don't want. Just try to say yes, however weak and weary a yes, to what is offered to you by nature's bounty. Your cells have not forgotten any of this. Only you have. Animals instinctively know what to eat, and so does the real you. You're not listening to your body's wisdom when you overeat. You are overriding your body's wisdom when you overeat. You're listening to the chatter in your mind, but not to the imperatives of your body. And as you get to know your body again, as you begin to relate to it with greater respect and honor, then your relationship to its natural support system will grow stronger as well. For that is what food is: the body's support system. It maintains health and keeps the body alive. To abuse it is to abuse your body. And to abuse your body is to abuse yourself. As always, a connection to the sacred is the way to reweave yourself into the natural harmonies of the universe. Knowing this, now take your piece of fruit, representing all healthy food with which you wish to build a new relationship, and place it upon your altar. Dedicate it in your heart to the divine, which both created and sustains you. Give thanks for your creation and for your sustenance, and pray to be returned to your right relationship with food. That is all you need do. God, your inner Christ, will do the rest. With that being said, family, it's time for reflection and prayer, and then I'll close us out. Let me put on some awesome, uh, no copyright jazz while we do this part. Thank you for joining the live. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. And please make sure that you are, in fact, doing your meditation and prayer in the morning, putting on the armor of your inner Christ in the afternoon. And this is our time together this evening. While you rest in the evening, forgive that, that's my ice maker. While you rest tonight, be sure to play something meditative that you want to see manifesting your experience. If you need more confidence, fall asleep to I am affirmations. If you want to lose more weight, listen to affirming statements of that while you sleep. Jason Stevenson is my favorite. Stephenson. What else? If you want more money in your experience, fall asleep to affirming prosperity messages. For whatever it is you want to see made manifest in your experience, make sure you meditate on that morning, noon, and night. Not in a begging supplication way, but in a spirit of thanksgiving that it's already done, because in Christ, it's already done. Okay? In your inner Christ, it's already done. Your inner Christ is waiting on you. So let's listen to some great non no copyright music as I finish out this segment. Okay. So right now I want you to close your eyes and take a long deep breath, allowing yourself to sink into the inner temple in your mind. There you will see your sacred altar, surrounded by beauty that is invisible to the mortal eye. First, see the place setting that has been sitting on your altar, and now see the piece of fruit you've laid upon it. Watch as an image of the divine, whatever image occurs to you, now appears before the fruit and blesses it. Then the being lovingly hands it to you. That being that you envision lovingly hands it to you. Any one of your ancestors would be a good idea to bring into your imagination. Having been in holy hands, the fruit is now consecrated unto all that is good and healthy and wise and sane. See yourself take the fruit and place it in your mouth. Allow the meditation to continue for as long as is comfortable. Listen to any other message that divine mind gives you. Witness both the images and the thoughts that illumine your mind as you do so. Dear God, thank you for blessing the food that sits before me. For being the blessing, name the food that sits before me. May it be filled with your spirit, and may it feed me with your love. May it nourish me that I might help nourish others. May I never forget those who have no food. Thank you, God, for remembering them too. And so it is. And amen. Tomorrow will be lesson 7. Love your body. I want to take our affirmation, our denial and affirmation that pain, sickness, poverty, old age, nor death, nor extra weight cannot master me, for it is not real, because we are spirit, perfect, whole, harmonious, and complete. Nothing can hurt us or make us sick, broke, or afraid, for spirit is God. And God is never sick, nor hurt, nor broke, nor afraid. We manifest our real selves through these bodies right now. And so it is. And I want to pray our prayer of protection before I bid you farewell this evening, that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God truly is. Because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. And if no one's told you today how much they love you, family, know that I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thank you for embarking on this journey with me. Until we meet again tomorrow at 7, that gives me time, family, between work and homework to come to you. 6 just feels a little bit too rushed. And if I'm sitting in traffic somewhere, it's going to be a challenge to get to you. So I'm going to start coming to you at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So until we meet again tomorrow, family, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening and workday tomorrow. Thank you so much again for embarking on this journey with me. Good night.